So I don't know exactly what's going on, but I hear a lot of people referring to their boss as their chief or their chef or something like that. No, what is going on there, right? Your boss is your boss or your manager. Boss or manager, that's pretty much it. Maybe supervisor, okay? But just stick with manager. You could say boss as well, but the word boss nowadays I think is like a little bit more negative. So like if you like your manager, right, your boss, and it is your manager, then I would say call them your manager, not your boss. Because if you say boss, it has a negative connotation. And if you like your job and you like your boss, then call them your manager. But if you don't like them and you hate your boss, then you can call them your boss and not your manager. But definitely do not call them your chef or your chief, all right? I don't know what's going on there, but that's totally wrong, okay? A chef is a person in the kitchen. He's like the guy with the big white hat who's like cooking stuff, and that's a chef, right? He's like the boss of the kitchen. That's a chef. And the word chief is just weird, okay? Chief, like, yeah, I guess it does mean boss, but when I think of a chief, I think of like an Indian chief, like a Native American. So like the guy who was in charge of like a tribe of Indians would be the chief. Well, I guess it really wouldn't be just Indians. It could be like any tribe. If you have a small group of people, then maybe that person would be called a chief. There's also something like the chief of police, which is weird. I don't know why we do that. Like, do they think the police is like a tribe, like a small community, and he's like, he is our chief? I don't know why they do that. That's weird. It's weird, okay? But yeah, we do say the chief of police. And then, if you're a cop, your boss is the chief, and you're like, my chief said this. Or I would say the chief, not my chief, because that's weird, right? No one's saying my chief. They say the chief, because it's like the chief of police. And maybe there's some other situations where you would, like in the military, in like the United States Army, I know that there's like a position called chief, right? So there's like lieutenant or sergeant, and there's also chief, and like chief is like a pretty important position as far as I know, okay? But generally speaking, all right, your boss is your boss or your manager. That's it. Do not call them a chef unless they are the chef of a kitchen, and do not call them a chief, all right? Unless you live in a tribe somewhere, but why? How are you watching this, right? If you live in a tribe, you probably don't have like electricity or something, right? So don't say chief. That's weird. It's weird, okay? It's just super weird. Don't do that. Manager. Just say manager, okay?